He's here on the phone with us, and so I'll kick it over to him, sir, if you're on the line, and then we'll get started.
Okay, we're trying to get it quiet here. Hey, thank you, Luke. First of all, I think people are aware of it, that we made a very significant announcement. It's significant to me. It may not be to other people, but I think it's important to have it just real quickly and briefly repeat what I said early this morning. First of all, I am announcing I will be leaving the United States Senate on the 3rd of January, and that means, and I want to make sure everyone understands this. Nothing's going to change, as far as I'm concerned, until almost a year from now. So this is going to take place. I'll keep doing it, but I want to make sure everybody knows that I am going to, at that appropriate time, vacate my office that I've held for a long period of time. In fact, we've set some records. We are going to continue doing the work that we've been doing, and it's going to be working out very well. We're not leaving. I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. But it does mean on January the 3rd, I will be leaving office. That's something that I would want to share with everyone, that there's a good reason for that. My wife and I have been doing this for a long period of time, and we have some other things we need to be doing at this point in our lives, and so we're going to do that. And to do that, we have to get out of this position and join the ranks of all the rest of you who are out there making a living, and so we're looking forward to this. Now, it's important for us to understand that I have one individual, Luke Holland, who's been not just a good friend of mine for a long period of time, but a very, very knowledgeable person who has been really kind of running our office for a long time. He's on top of every issue. And he will obviously have to leave the position that he's holding right now. And so as of today, he's going to be a candidate to replace me. He'll be a candidate for the United States Senate, and he'll start his long trip that won't wind up until the 3rd of January. And so I will be leaving office at precisely the same time that he will be gaining office, because he has to, of course, run for office during that time. I am endorsing Luke Holland, and I believe that he is the one, without question, the best qualified to carry this out, and I anticipate that he will. I see every expectation. He's actually run this show with a lot of it for now a long period of time. We're talking about several years. So I'll look forward to serving with him at that time, and that's the change. Now, what have I overlooked here that I want to be sure to get everything? Okay, so Kay and I will be leaving the United States Senate in January of the coming year, and I will be endorsing Luke Holland to replace me. He's the one who's qualified to do it. He's one that I have no doubt in my mind can win. So with that, let me just be the first one to introduce candidate Luke Holland.
Well, and Senator Inhofe, let me be the first to thank you for all the work that you have done for Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not the same state because of the work that you've done for us. You have always had the true north of our Christian values at the center of everything that you do. You've always believed that America is the greatest nation on earth, and you've never given up. And at the same time, you have delivered day after day for the things that Oklahoma needs, whether it's our military bases or our infrastructure. You have been Mr. Oklahoma for a long time, and we all owe you a debt of gratitude for everything that you've done for us. So, sir, thank you so much for your service to the state. Thank you so much for your endorsement. I can't think of anyone who I would be more honored to have the endorsement of than you. I mean, the reason why I'm running for Senate is because I believe that America is the greatest nation on earth. I believe that Oklahoma is the greatest state in the nation, but we're under assault right now. This nation is under assault from both the inside and the outside. The reason America is the greatest country on earth is because of our foundations in our freedoms and our Christian values. Those are the things that set America apart from the rest of the world. That's what we were founded on. And I think everybody can see that what's happening right now with Joe Biden and his socialist left Democratic Party, that they are tearing this nation apart, that they're trying to destroy the things that have made this country so great. And we've got to fight for it. We've got to fight to rescue this country from going in that direction. I mean, anywhere you look right now, you see that school boards are trying to kick parents out of classrooms. You've got runaway inflation because of all the spending that's going on. You've got a country that is going in a direction that is not what Oklahoma is all about. And it's not about what this country was founded on. And so what I want to do is represent Oklahoma in the Senate so that we can get things back on track, so that we can go back to the basics, go back to the foundations of what made this country great in the first place, so that we can rise and be strong again. Right now, Joe Biden is being the weakest leader that we've ever seen on the international stage. And every social policy that he's advancing is against the Christian values that we all hold true. He wants to kick God out of everything. And as a fourth generation Oklahoman, my great grandmother came to Muskogee in a covered wagon. And I think that if she were here today, she would be appalled at the America that she sees today, because it's so much different than what it was so long ago. But I think what's so encouraging is that so many people go all over the state and talking to friends and family and just acquaintances, and people are starting to wake up, not just here, but all over the country, about the threats that we're facing. People are starting to wake up to the direction that the socialists want to take us, and they're saying, this is enough. We can't let it go any further. We have got to fight to take our country back. And that's why I'm running. That's why I'm running for the Senate. I would be honored to have the support of Oklahomans. I'd be humbled to serve you in the United States Senate, to represent these values that we all hold so true. Senator Inhofe, you are an incredible leader, and I'm so grateful to have your endorsement. It's an exciting opportunity to be able to follow in your footsteps. And this country is such a wonderful gift from God, but we've got to fight to preserve it. We've got to fight to keep it. And that's what I am committing to doing in the United States Senate. So I really appreciate all my friends and family for being here today and for supporting me. And I look forward to answering the questions of the press. I know that you guys are here. Appreciate you all being here. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the campaign trail and meeting everybody around this great state of Oklahoma.
Hey, Luke.
Yes, sir.
You seem to have come together pretty quick.
Yeah.
How long have you known about, obviously, that this opportunity would be there? When did you know that you would be running? You already have your website up.
Yep.
Tell me about the time.
Yeah, so Senator Inhofe made his decision to retire just not too long ago. And when he made that decision, I told him, I want to run. All the things that you've taught me, all the things that you have tutored me in, and we've talked a lot over the last few years about the really hard spot that our nation's in, the direction that we've been going. I mean, the gains that we saw during the Trump administration. President Trump did more to accomplish the conservative agenda during his term of office than any other president in our history. And it's amazing how much we've lost ground in just 1 year. And so once he decided that he was going to retire, I said, sir, I'd love to have the opportunity to run and succeed you. I want to run. And he said, Luke, well, if you're going to run, I'm going to endorse you. And so once we made those decisions, and then we started to get ready, and he made his announcement, and we're launching.
Can you give me a date on that?
You'd have to ask him, sir. I don't know if you're still here. I think that he said it was just a couple weeks ago that he made the final decision.
What do you say to those who say, you should clap
climb the ladder. Spend some time in the building behind you.
Yeah. Well, I look to the building behind me with Governor Stitt. His first run at an office was for governor. I look at President Trump. First office he ever ran for was the President of the United States. I think that what's more important is that we have bold leadership. And that's what I want to provide. One thing that Jim Inhofe does better than anybody else is that he tells you exactly what he's thinking. And I think people really respect him for that. And so I'm telling you exactly what I think this country needs to look like in the future. That's what I want to do. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to earn the trust and the votes of the people of Oklahoma. Yes, sir.
I noticed you didn't refer to President Biden as President Joe Biden. Do you believe that President Biden is the newly elected President of the United States?
You know, that's a great question. I mean, he was sworn in under our Constitution. And so one of the things that I really heard a lot about over the last couple of months and the last year is the concerns that our voters have over election security. And my dad, I remember talking to him right after the election, and he was just super concerned about where we were with having confidence in our elections. And one thing that I'm proud about, the Republican Party has done really well over the last couple of years is whether it's in Georgia or Arizona, we've got over a dozen states that have passed laws to improve voter integrity and election security so that their laws look a lot more like our laws do here in Oklahoma. Oklahoma has the gold standard of election security laws, and we want more and more of our states around the country to have election laws that look like ours so that people can have confidence. It's so important for people to have confidence in the results of our elections. And when I think about confidence and a lack of confidence, I think about the CDC, the way that they've perjured themselves. They used to be the gold standard of science, and they've really perjured themselves during this bout of COVID because they've not answered the people's questions. People have lots of questions about the virus, they have questions about the vaccines, and instead of actually bringing people together and answering their questions and studying the real questions that they have, they've just told people to do what they say and to trust them. And so I think anytime that there's a large section of our population that has big questions about something that's going on, we need to be really careful and work to answer their questions.
So is Joe Biden, in your opinion, duly elected President of the United States?
Joe Biden was sworn in as President of the United States, and it is President Joe Biden.
Do you agree with Senator Inhofe's vote to certify the election results on January 6th?
Jim Inhofe loves our Constitution, and I 100% support what he did on January 6th because at the end of the day, we have a Constitution that this country was founded upon, and that is something that we have got to preserve. But at the end of the day, we have got to look forward. This election, if the media is constantly working to destroy the integrity that we have in this country, and we've got to be looking forward. We've got to be looking at the future. And right now, the Democrats are trying to destroy everything that makes this country great. And we have got to get back to the basics of the fact that this country is great because of our freedoms and our Christian values. That is what we have got to move forward to accomplish, and that's what's at stake, and that's why I'm running.
Can you tell us a little bit about your history, your work history, how long you've been with Senator Inhofe's office, what you did before then, where you grew up?
Yeah, so I was born just up the street in Oklahoma City. I grew up in Bartlesville. My dad serves as a doctor there. He practiced with his dad for a long time in Bartlesville. My mom's side of the family came to Bartlesville as well. My grandfather was an attorney for Phillips 66 up there. And so that's where I grew up. It was an amazing childhood. You know, my parents loved the Lord and loved me and taught me to do all those things as well. And so that's where I grew up. And I was able to get a scholarship to go to the University of Arkansas. You know, with the great expense of higher education right now, it was such an amazing privilege to be able to go to school without having to incur debt. And it was after the financial crisis when I saw President Obama bail out the banks and all that stuff take place that I realized that I had to get involved. And so I was given an opportunity to start working for Senator Inhofe and was forward deployed and have worked hand in glove with him to advance the conservative agenda.
So how long have you worked with Inhofe and how long have you been chief of staff?
I've been his chief of staff for 5 years until last night, and worked for him for 12 and a half years.
Do you pick up the mantle of climate change just as fervent?
I agree with Senator Inhofe that climate change, man-made climate change, and the way that the environmental left wants to use that to advance their regulatory agenda, their socialistic agenda. That's the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on the American people. Jim Inhofe is exactly right on that, and it's just an assault by the left against oil and gas. It's an assault by the left against everything that we do here in Oklahoma. Just a week ago, President Biden's Department of Defense said that climate change is the greatest national security threat in the United States. Are you kidding me? That can't be that's not true. That's just insane, but it's become a religion to the left. And so I 100% agree with Jim Inhofe. I don't think we need regulations on those kinds of things. I think that the states are doing a great job of managing our oil and gas resources.
So did you resign as
I did resign last night. That's right.
that you could run?
So that I could announce my candidacy. That's right.
Sir, if you were in the U.S. Senate right now and you were watching the situation unfold in Ukraine, what would be your hope, your advice if President Biden, were to ask you that? What do you think needs to be done?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. So I was in Romania just last May with Jim, and we were able to see front and center the fact that Putin was starting to put weapons and offensive capabilities in some of the areas of Ukraine that they had seized in 2014, whereas previous to that, the Romanians told us that it was all defensive capabilities that they had put in those places. And so we started to see the tremors coming last year, but then everything changed when Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. That botched decision to just cut bait and run. And now we have a situation in Afghanistan where the Taliban is stronger today than they were before 9/11. Al-Qaeda is reconstituting itself. The whole world is more dangerous today because of Joe Biden and because of his poor leadership. And so that's where we are right now. We can't change where we are right now. But what should have been happening over the last couple of months as it became clearer and clearer and clearer what Putin was going to do is that we should have been giving more and more weapons to Ukraine. We should have been ramping up those sanctions months ago. But it's not until just the last couple of weeks that those things have really been happening. We should have made it so expensive for Putin to invade Ukraine that he would have changed his mind. And so that's where we are right now. We can't change that. But my advice to President Biden would have been to make different decisions last year.
Luke, what are your biggest differences between you and Senator Inhofe? What would you have done differently in his shoes? We've heard a lot about you taking his tenure there.
You know, whenever somebody asks me what kind of Republican I am, I say I'm a Jim Inhofe kind of Republican. And he's just done a phenomenal job of keeping the true north. And he has always delivered for Oklahoma. I can't think of a single issue that we disagree on.
How much do you think you're going to need to raise?
Well, that's a great opportunity for me to plug LukeHolland.com. You can give money right now. It's live and ready to go. I think that this race is going to probably cost between $4 and $10 million. It's just hard to know. They're expensive races. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of resources are going to be required.
We know what you are.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to have to kiss double the amount of babies? To try to get your name out there to the average Oklahoman who may not know who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be everywhere all the time. I think that's a privilege of being young is I've got more energy than anybody else, and so I'll be everywhere all the time. So you'll get tired of seeing me.
What are your top 3 policy priorities if elected?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say that my number one priority is to restore the Christian values that we have in this country. I want to move us back in that direction. I also want to advance an economic policy where freedom is at the center of it, right? If we don't have freedom, we don't have a private sector. And my whole job as a U.S. Senator is to serve the people of Oklahoma. It's to allow them to have the opportunities to do whatever they want. I love Oklahomans. I trust Oklahomans to make whatever decision is best for them, and that's what freedom is all about. And when we have the basics in place, when we have our Christian values and we have our freedoms and they go hand in hand together, then Oklahoma is going to shine brighter than any other state. I mean, we've talked to so many different companies from California and other places around the country, and they're moving to Oklahoma because of the opportunities that we have here. We need more of Oklahoma around the rest of the country.
How are you going to differentiate yourself from what's likely to be a very crowded field of Republican candidates?
Yeah, I think that what I bring to the table is a true north of what this country really is about, that we are the greatest country on earth because of our Christian values and our freedoms, and that's what this whole thing is about fighting to protect our country from the direction that the socialists want to go in, and it's to move back to the basics and get where we need to go to restore this country so that my great-grandmother would be proud of it again.
Biggest challenge you faced in your life, as a kid, as your adult career? Give us an example of a time you faced a problem and it was difficult.
Yeah, I think that anytime you are getting started in life, there's a lot of uncertainty about what kind of opportunities are going to come along and how you're going to make ends meet and how you're going to fight to advance your career and provide for your family and be able to be generous to other people. And so that's always been, something, especially when I was getting started right after college and after high school. It's just uncertainty about what the future holds. And what I really take away from that is the way that the Lord has just always taken care of me. And that's why I can pursue this with such clear eyes and without worry, is that the Lord has always been there with me, and He's always taken care of me. And I know that, in Oklahoma, we've got a lot of people who believe the same thing. And that's why I think that we can both be very aware of the challenges that we face as a country, but also remain optimistic that God is still up there. Even though the Democrats want to cast Him out of our existence, that God is still up there. He still cares about us. And if we work really hard, I think that we can move things back in the right direction.
What about folks who don't believe the same thing, the opponents who are watching us right now?
Yeah, I serve them just as much as I do anybody else. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you on the trail.